Good evening, listeners. Thank you for tuning into this video tonight. I'm Dolores Valley, and I'm coming to you very briefly this evening to tell you a little bit about the book that I wrote some years ago, but was published 2 years ago. This book is called The Other Side of Midnight. I want or chose tonight to talk a little bit about this book because I think it's very relevant to the assignment that I have been given from the Lord as I talk about His Word or from the Scriptures every Thursday night. And we do maintain a website that contains many sources for spiritual growth, which is called Journey to Spiritual Growth. And I'm thinking that all of these things that I'm engaged in right now at this time in my life, even though they have their own element in terms of the phases where they do come together as a jigsaw puzzle would come together, and they make sense as different situations and different things that impact the mission that I am on, which I call now the journey to spiritual growth. And I think these things that, again, that I'm engaged in has a lot to do with supporting the journey that we're all on, and that we need from time to time to be encouraged, to be inspired, and to engage in those things that will help us to get from point A to point B. And so tonight I thought, okay, I put a lot of time and energy in this, and I think that it has a lot to offer to anyone who reads it. And when we think about midnights in our lives, there are a lot of things that we can think about. There are a lot of different places of reference that I uh, uh, connect with as I talk about these different situations in this book. And so, what I'm going to share with you for a few minutes now is a section from this book. Let me just show you. This is the cover. The book can be purchased should you be interested in that from Amazon. So I'm going to share with you this portion that says, what is this midnight thing all about? And if indeed you ask that question, and I'm glad that you did, God will use midnights in a person's life to reveal to them where their mindset actually is. Midnight in the Bible was not only a time of night, but certain things happened during that time, which was beneficial to the individual. Even though it was the darkest time in a person's life, it was also a turning point for bigger and brighter things. The brighter things could not be obtained if the individual's mindset had not been changed to God's specification. A biblical example of what I'm talking about can be seen in Acts 16, where at midnight, Paul and Silas were beaten and thrown in prison. But their darkest hours reveal their positive mindset, which was to pray and sing praises to God to the point of not even caring that the other prisoners heard them. The other option they could have chosen was to murmur and complain, which would have stopped God from sending his earthquake to let them out of prison and save the jailer and his family. Another example can be seen in Judges 16:3, which says, and Samson lay till midnight and arose at midnight and took the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts and went away with their bar and all and put them upon his shoulder and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. Samson's enemies, the Philistines, were trying to sneak up on him to capture him, which parallels his darkest hour at that time in his life. And let me pause right here because we all of us have darkest times in our lives. And we can look at those as midnights, times of midnight in our lives. And the purpose here is to see, how do we cope with them? What do we do? How do we come to the other side? Samson, his turning point came when he arose at midnight because he had remained asleep. He would have been captured by his enemies. For Christians today, it is important to have the mindset to remain active and awake for God. Proverbs talks about waking out of one's sleeps spiritually. Wake up out of your sleep, because when you are asleep, it causes a person to get lazy and lethargic toward the things of God. Midnights can zap your strength and joy out of a person to the point of not wanting to do anything, not wanting to go to work, not wanting to go to church, not wanting to pray, not even to read the Bible. But if we have a proper mindset and understanding of these things, they are a must to remain prepared for when we get to that turning point. Samson experienced supernatural strength from God during his midnight experience, which was the turning point in stopping the plans of his enemies to do him harm. Likewise, today Christians need supernatural strength to get from point A to point B. Hallelujah. We must realize that every day is not going to be a sunny day. We must realize that along the way, we need to have strength to to be able to realize the power that the Lord has given us to overcome the obstacles or the midnights in our lives. So this little segment that I'm posting here tonight on this video is to encourage you to meet your midnights, because we're all going to have them, but meet them with hope and with faith and with positive thinking that this too shall pass. And that's what living this life is all about. It's not all sunshine and roses and ice cream and cake. You're going to have your difficult times. You're going to have those times that challenge you. The question is, how do we get to the other side of our midnights? If you care to read what I wrote, as I said before to you, there are a lot of situations in here, a lot of times that we go through, a lot of things that happen in our family, in our cities, in our nation, in our world. And with God, as we always say, you can get to the other side of midnight, because with Him, all things are possible. I wish you Godspeed. I pray for blessings over your life. And this is Dolores Smalley. Until next video, be blessed.